Hi, my name is VitaminDStain and welcome back to some more
Chronoclock.
Welcome back to this abomination of a route. Let's get started.
気持ちのいい風ですね。
It definitely feels like summer. After we got out of the bath, we sat in the shade and enjoyed the gentle breeze. You know, speaking of summer, I'm not excited for summer. Also, I hope this route ends soon. I'm ready for it to wrap up. I'm done. I'd left the house almost every day recently, so it felt good to stay home and relax for once. Of course, it can be fun to go out sometimes, but at times like these, I couldn't help but think, there's no place like home. I guess I know that feel very, very well.
皆さん、スイカが切れましたよ。スイカ、やったー。
Thanks, Didi.
いえいえ、メイド長から運ぶように言われただけですので。
She didn't have to say that though. Didi's honest as ever.
DD さんも一緒にいかがですか？ですか？そう誘われてしまっては断れないですね。では巻いちゃいましょう。
Says the girl who brought out plates for 4 people.
遠慮と謙遜と様式美は日本人の美徳ですからね。
Stop lying, you wanted some. You're not even Japanese, though. Well, whatever. We had a good ambiance going here, so I wasn't about to get hung up on a little detail like that. 4 of us sat on the porch, eating watermelon and enjoying each other's company. We listened to the chirping of insects and the tinkling of the wind chimes. This place was definitely isolated from the hustle and bustle of the outside world.
この風情が日本人の心ですね。永住したくなっちゃいます。風情？住むなら都です。
Why are you apologizing for that? I almost don't want to read that. No, I'm not reading that. Why are you apologizing? That's so goofy.
そうだ、京都行こう。
We definitely can't do that today though. Living in the city, I bet little Michiru would like that
み
too.
んなで旅行も楽しそうですね。旅行？楽しそうですね。鹿せんべいにも興味があります。
Aren't you supposed to say you're interested in the temple or shrine that sells them?
食べられないことはないと聞きますが、味気ないと思いますよ。
While Michiru quipped wryly at Didi, I just laid back and enjoyed the mellow atmosphere. Michiru and the little one got along just like sisters, and Didi naturally fit in with them as well. They say there's a crowd, but I wasn't getting that impression from them at all, though I did feel a bit out of place myself. Michiru had told me that she didn't have as much time to talk with me as before. I wonder if this is how she felt.
男一人のけ者にされて寂しいという目だの。
Goro, how long have you been watching?
そうだの。風呂からか。
You nosy little peeping Tom.
我が輩は人間でないからな。法の縛りなど知ったことか。
You still watch though. You got some nerve saying that kind of stuff to my face, you know?
兄様、私でしたらいくらでも覗いてくださって構いませんよ。
というより、一緒に入っておったではないか。
Well, she was right about that.
それにな、男が覗けば問題でも、女が覗く場合はそう問題にならん。
That's right. Is that right?
まあ、男でも許されるな。ただし、イケメンに限る。だったか？
You're getting too used to modern society, and where'd you hear that from anyway?
この前私と一緒にネットサーフィンしてた時ですね。
You know, that made me think, what if Kuro discovered the internet from the times of now, with the whole slang of Riz that I think that would be really fun if they had made Kuro closer to these times. So you're the culprit.
まあそれを鑑みるにご主人は
For the love of God, don't say it.
そんなことないよ。お父さんかっこいいもん。
I'm literally your bro. Thank you, little one.
私もレイ君は素敵だと思いますよ。
そうですね。幼い頃から兄様の顔立ちは魅力的でしたから。
We weren't talking about looks.
それに何より私が好きになったのは兄様の心ですから。
I appreciate the compliments, but getting all this dumped on me at once is making me blush. Just when I was starting to cool down, here I was starting to burn up again.
のけ者にされると拗ねてしまうようなところも可愛らしいですね。
What?
レイ君なら女の子の会話に混じっても OK ですよ。OK だよ。
Knock it off. This is too embarrassing. Kuro laughed gleefully too. I wanted to get the heck out of here right now. That's right. When all else fails, be kind, rewind. Or so I would have done if the pocket watch weren't still broken. Well, even if it was embarrassing, it wasn't so bad that I really needed to use the watch, so it wasn't a big deal. Oh? Glancing at the watch before returning it in my pocket, I noticed that it had repaired itself quite a bit more from the last time I looked at it. It literally looks the same to me. Good, good. It wouldn't take that long for it to fix itself. Yeah, it was a good thing. It had to be a good thing.
なんて顔をしておるのだ。
Hmm? What do you mean?
ねえ、お父さん。一緒に映画見ない？
Of course. What about you, Michiru?
そうですね。ではご一緒させていただきます。
でしたら私はお仕事に戻りますね。
While she stood up at the same time as us, I had a strange feeling about that comment. She seemed to be weirdly considerate of us. It's a weekend for you too, Dee. Do you really need to work all day?
平気ですよ。アニメのブルーレイボックスで作ったタワーを解体するだけの簡単なお仕事ですから。
Oh, right.
頑張ってね、ディーディー。
Dee Dee clearly had plans to enjoy her day off too, albeit in a different way from us. Sounds like a productive day to me. Returning to the room, little Michiru quickly ran over to get the DVD. By the way, I think I've talked about before how on the second channel I'm playing Resident Evil 4 Remake, and well, while recording an episode of it for the second channel, by the way, Vitamin D, if you haven't already checked it out, if you're interested, please consider taking a look. I accidentally overwrote my saved data for a professional slot that I had started, and I was about to beat the game too on professional. I was a little sad about it. So months later after that incident, today I started a new slot at professional, and let me tell you, for the last 2.5 hours I've been playing Resident Evil 4 prior to recording this, and man was it fun. The dark atmosphere, it makes me feel not only the dark atmosphere, but something about that game, the satisfaction of murdering the villagers, collecting treasures, looking at that scenery in high quality on the big TV. It's just amazing. It's comforting. It's fun. It's satisfying. I love it. For me, it's one of those games where I can replay over and over and over, and it's still fun. Even with all the treasure hunting, and even if it's annoyingly difficult at times. I love that game. I have over 80 hours on it. It's not a crazy amount, but I don't think it's just any amount either. But all that to say, it was fun. Returning to the room, little Michiru quickly ran over to get the DVD. Lately, little Michiru had been insisting that she could do things like that. This herself, so we just watched over her instead. Whenever the three of us sat together, the girls would sit on either side of me. Sometimes we would have little Michiru sit in the middle too.
準備できたよ。
ご苦労様です、みちる。
Little Michiru trotted over, walking past and sitting on the other side of me. Guess that made me stuck in the middle with them today. Or so I thought. Surprisingly enough, she sat in my lap instead. It was surprising, but mostly I was just worried about what Michiru would say. I expected her to protest and to try to sit on my lap as well.
兄様、映画を見ないのですか？
Huh? Well, are you okay with this, Michiru?
もう準備はできていますから。
Okay, in that case, let's get started. What was that laugh? Once she saw that Michiru wasn't going to yell at her, little Michiru leaned back against my chest with a gleeful little giggle. Then she pulled my arm down around her waist, like someone pulling down the safety bar on a roller coaster. Michiru certainly knew what little Michiru was doing, even if she couldn't see it happening. Perhaps the reason she didn't stop little Michiru was they had finally become family. What are you talking about? It's literally her. If that were the case, I was happy to see it. You know, then with all this family talk, a part of me feels kind of annoyed over it right now because it feels like they're constantly pushing we're trying to be a happy family together in this very incestual relationship. Like, no bro, man, it's not happening. And it's literally her. Not to make it less fun or to be a Debbie Downer, but all this talk about them becoming family, it's like we're family. It's like, no. Yes, y'all are family, but not in the way y'all think. You know what I mean? So it's starting to irritate me. As a result, I want it to end. Not that it's a terrible route, but I want it to be over. That was fun.
楽しかった。
Once the movie had ended, I voiced my honest opinion of it out loud. I had a rather simple story time like that of a children's book, but underneath the simple facade was a surprisingly profound moral lesson. Aside from its entertainment value, the movie also taught children a good lesson. It's the kind of movie that could be enjoyed by parents and children alike, and give the whole family something to talk about too. It really was wonderful.
この作品は描写がわかりやすかったので、私でも楽しめました。何より音楽が素晴らしいですし、思わずフレーズを口ずさんでしまいそうですね。
They definitely were pretty memorable songs. If I heard Michiru humming a childish song like that, it would definitely put a smile on my face. Though she'd probably get weird looks from her classmates if she did that at school. And she's not very keen on drawing attention to herself.
ねえお父さん、ほら、夕焼けだよ。
Little Michiru snapped me out of my reverie by pulling on my shirt. Oh, it must be beautiful. I still remember the awe-inspiring sight of the sunset on the beach, but even watching it from the window was beautiful too.
夕食まで時間がありそうですし、散歩をするのもいいかもしれませんね。
That sounds good. Now that it's cooled down outside, there's probably a nice breeze going. What about you, little Michiru? Do you want to go on a walk?
お散歩する。
I like when it's wholesome. Not when Michiru's being weird. Michiru's starting to annoy me too. Oh my god. Like, shut up. Good girl. Let's get ready to go. When I was about to tell little Michiru to get off me, she put her arms around my neck. She was clearly asking me to pick her
お
up.
父さん、おんぶして連れてって。
You want me to carry you? Ma, you're a spoiled one. Well, it was okay for a young girl to act childish every once in a while.
いけませんよ、みちる。寝ている時ならともかく、起きている時におんぶなんて許しません。むしろ、私がしていただく番だと思いませんか、兄様。
お父さん。
Let's just walk hand in hand this time. Quit pouting, both of you. The two Michirus were arguing again, but this time they weren't seriously fighting. I couldn't understand why Michiru thought it was okay for the little girl to sit on my lap, but not to ride on my back. Was it because her chest would be pressed against my back, perhaps? Bro, just shut up and walk. Besides, Michiru, you're wearing a skirt today. Or would you rather give everyone around us a good show?
それもそうですね。兄様以外に見せるわけにもいきませんし。では、みちる、出かける準備をしますよ。
わかった。
I ever wonder what kind of preparations could possibly be required for a walk, but hey, girls, am I right? I guess. Little Michiru cheerfully dashed out of the room, and Michiru followed her at her leisurely pace. Watching the two of them leave reminded me of how similar they really were, despite their obvious differences on the surface. They were definitely similar in the way that they acted calm and collected, despite actually being quite careless.
もしもーし、みちるはいらっしゃいますか？
Ko e? Hey? Little Michiru? She just went to her room.
バートのタイミングでしたね。
Indeed, warui. That's an understatement. You literally appeared the very second she left.
おや、ニアミスしてましたか？
She definitely did. Not that it mattered. Did you need to talk to little Michiru about something? The three of us were about to go on a walk.
実はですね、今日の夕食はカレーなのですが、味付けをどうしようかとお悩み中でした。
Curry, huh? Sounds good to me. Whenever I think about Japanese curry, I just remember surviving off of the Japanese curries from the marketplaces when I was in Japan. Almost over a year ago now. That's crazy. I would often get the chicken curry, the fried chicken curry plate with white rice. It was pretty good. Man, I want some now. Come to think of it, I could smell it in the air. Did that mean it was already nearly done? I get it. She wanted to know if she would make little Michiru's portion milder, or if she should make it more in line with mine and Michiru's palates. You can't just give us all the mild stuff.
おや、いいのですか？ご主人様、辛いカレーが好みでしたよね。
On the picante side. Now they got Spanish on here, like, huh? Who translated this? Although I do find it amusing. Picante literally means spicy. I do, but I won't mind either way.
なるほど、なるほど。いいお父さんですね。
Yes, I am daddy. Hey, I never said you could call me that.
わお、これが伝統の頑固親父というものですか。
She's a little annoying sometimes too. Well, I kept I'm just frying everybody today. While I kept carrying on with Didi, the thought occurred that I wasn't watching over little Michiru. Maybe the blonde-haired maid needed adult supervision more than little Michiru did. Things were definitely easier around the house compared to when it was just me and Michiru though. Well, I'm having fun, so I guess I can't complain. It really was fun. This really was happiness. Interesting. By the way, I don't know if you can hear in the background. I'm gonna turn off the audio right now for the game. You should be able to hear the background, maybe. And if not, I'm going to raise the volume a bit. Maybe you can hear this now. So I have that in the background at a very low volume. Because as you know, I live with other people and sometimes the background is not very quiet. So this is this is my attempt of kind of clearing that noise in the background. I often use ambient sounds like this to relax or to reflect or to fall asleep. So I thought it'd be cool if I experimented and tried to throw it in a video. I don't know if you can hear it. I don't know if it's annoying or overstimulating. But if you can hear it, which you should be able to hear it, I would love to know your thoughts about it. If I should turn it off, I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts. And if you don't say anything, I'm going to assume you don't mind at all. And if that's the case, I'm content. The closing ceremony for the school year concluded without incident, thrusting us into our very much awaited summer break. All of the newly freed students filled the school with a jovial atmosphere. Didi and I ended up turning down invitations to hang out with friends so we could walk home with Michiru instead. Oh, another thing, I'm sorry the pause so close. I forgot the time. So, as you know, recently I decided to start uploading 4 videos on this channel and tried to be a little more active on the second channel. I think I've been doing that for like, what, a week or 2 now? I would also like to hear what you guys think about the 4 uploads. Is it too much? Is it just enough? I don't intend to adjust the amount of videos I'm putting out a week on this channel, but I would still like to hear what you guys think about that. If it turns out that I am overwhelming you guys with these very long videos, then maybe I'll consider, or I think I'll strongly consider rather, to go back to 3 uploads. But I would really love to hear, especially your thoughts on that. We're home. I wish I could take off all my clothes right here and now. I was covered in sweat just from walking through the heat outside. I hear Japanese summers are cruel. A part of me wants to go just to see if I can handle it, because I'm a desert boy, right? And it gets really hot out here. But it doesn't get as humid out here as it does in Japan during the summer. Michiru and Didi were grumbling about it too. They wanted to get changed right away. Maybe they'd want to take a bath together with me again too.
お父さん、こっちこっち。
Shh. I was thinking about that. I noticed little Michiru peeking out from around the corner to look at me. Little Michiru, what are you doing over there? She looked around to make sure that no one was around, and then she quietly snuck over to where I was standing. She was too cute. I could tell that she wanted to talk about something in secret.
お父さん、こっち来て。
Where, in my room? Little Michiru pulled on my hand without answering my question. For a second, I thought that she looked like a little dog that wanted to go on a walk, but that was kind of rude to her. Better leave that as a thought, and not something you actually say to her, or anyone. Alright, little Michiru, what is it?
お父さん、今から時間ある？
Yeah, I don't have any plans in particular. Her anxious face lit up with a smile when I nodded in affirmation.
あのね、一緒にお花畑行きたいの。
Go, just take her, just you and your little sister, littler sister. Leave the other one behind, leave the degenerate behind. I could get behind this, just these two like hanging out and stuff like that's very, very wholesome. No more weird stuff. I've had it with Michiru, I've had it, get her out of here. I suppose we didn't end up going last time, huh?
ダメ？
Of course we can. Little Michiru wore a jubilant expression and waved her hands in the air. Her childishness was adorable. Little Michiru had become a lot more willing to tell us what she wanted, since she couldn't go anywhere alone in our world. This must have been her growing up too. Yeah, it was a heartwarming sight for sure. Let's get ready then. Did you already ask Michiru?
お母さんには内緒なの。
Please, yes! Get her out of here! We don't like mommy. Oh, really? I had heard of keeping secrets from a girl's father, but I was surprised that little Michiru wanted to keep secrets from her mother and big sister. And even if she called it a secret, it sounded more like she just wanted to leave Michiru out. Who the freak cares? I want to leave her out too. Why do you want to keep it a secret from Michiru?
お母さん、そろそろお誕生日でしょ？お花畑が好きって言ってたから、お花をプレゼントしてあげたいの。だからね、一回見に行ってみたいなって。
I get it. I get it. You want to surprise her, huh? You're such a good girl, little Michiru. I put my hand on her head and combed through her hair to show my appreciation for her. I suppose I ought to get little Michiru a present too, but she'd probably love it even more if it were a surprise. Michiru would be happy to see little Michiru happy, and vice versa. Little one, are you ready to go yet?
準備完了だよ。
That hat just spawned on her head. Okay, I'll have that explanation to Michiru then.
こっそり出かけようね。
Alright then, I should start.
あら？兄様？
The genuine. Mission failed. Mission failed! We'll get him next time! We went through the garden to avoid Michiru, but then she came out through the back door at the worst possible time. Oh no, I thought we were going without her. No, please. I refused to give the Jenny Michiru all the freaking fault. And you know why? Because it is also Rei's fault. He entertains it. He allows it. He even adds to it. He adds to the fire. The dumpster on fire. He adds to it.
お父さん。
今からお出かけですか？
Oh, just for a second.
兄様お一人で？
No, just us two.
ちょっとだけ出かけるね。
どのようなご用事でしょうか？差し支え
Oh,
なけ
I
れば
mind.
ご一緒にと
Stay
いう
home.
のですが。
Stay home. That's, well.
お母さんはうちにいてね。プレゼントを買ったりとか、そういう用事じゃないから。
Little Michiru, it's good that you're honest, but you're gonna spoil everything. We're not gonna buy anything expensive, alright? We're just going for a walk. It's not like we're going out to a restaurant or anything.
はあ、お買い物ですか。
Michiru seemed like she still hadn't caught on to us, but I couldn't tell if she was just playing dumb. I don't think she is, bro, Chacho. Little Michiru breathed a sigh of relief, believing we tricked Michiru, but I still wasn't sure that we had pulled the wool over her eyes.
もし、みちるを連れて行くのでしたら、迷子にならないように言ってくださいね。
Actually, she may be acting dumb.
もう、迷子になんてならないもん。
Mm-hmm. I know, I'll be careful too, though. I was relieved to see Michiru nod. Looks like she fell for it.
では私は、妻らしく、家で兄様の帰りを待たせていただきますね。
I think you meant like a good sister would.
兄様も男性ですから、女性に言えない用事もあるでしょうし。
I already told you, little Michiru is coming with me.
あら、建前かと思っておりました。
お母さん。
Michiru just smiled with amusement, ignoring little Michiru's dissatisfied glares. I guess we're safe as long as she doesn't understand what we're up to. Though it might be a problem later on.
ですが、雑誌にしても、道具にしても、私がいるので不要ですよ。
Yes. That's not it either. He's lying. He's totally lying. Michiru waved us off bemusedly as we left. I am learning so many new terms in this game. It's incredible. I don't think I've searched up this many terms before while playing a visual novel. Have you guys noticed that? I've just been searching things up a lot. It's an adverb that describes an action or expression done in a way that shows slight confusion, bewilderment, or being lost in thought, often with a touch of humor or irony. Michiru waved us off bemusedly as we left. I wonder if we fooled her.
私も一緒に行くって言ったのに、信じてなかったね。
Well, at least she wasn't suspicious. Seems like she's going to watch the house. It's not like she'd be able to tail us around or anything. She... Right. She can't. Dang it. I forgot once again. Daily forget. But reminder that she's blind. Mm-hmm.
ねえ、お土産は買って帰る？
Yeah, I suppose we ought to get her something nice before we go back home. Little Michiru knew how lonely it could be to stay home alone. Yup, she's such a good girl.
お母さん、どんなのが好きなの？
I'm not really sure. I know there aren't many things she dislikes at least. Michiru always said her favorite thing was simply spending time enjoying the pleasure of my company, so I didn't know what kind of present to get her. She wasn't especially fuzzy about what kind of food she liked or disliked either. Well, I know she enjoys listening to rakugo.
落語？
They're stories on audio CDs. You might be a bit too young for those. Michiru started listening to them because they were something she could still enjoy after losing her sight, but little Michiru still had her own sight. I prefer to buy something that little Michiru would enjoy too. In any case, it would be best if we didn't return from the field of flowers empty-handed.
お母さん、他に何あげたら喜んでくれるかな？
If it's from you, I'm sure she'd be happy to accept any kind of present you give her.
なんでもじゃ困るよ。
I guess so. We walked side by side with smiles on our faces, discussing the problem. I took small steps to match her pace since I was holding her hand. Unlike before, we walked slowly along the well-ordered streets. We walked and walked, and then we finally reached our destination. Wow. Nice. Little Michiru, in awe of the sight before her eyes, I got goosebumps, let out a gasp of amazement. Even I was taken aback by the sight, in spite of how I'd already seen it several times before. That is very, very pretty. The scenery alone was not incredible in itself. The clear summer air and sweet scent of the flowers completed the package. Little Michiru was even more amazed than Michiru and I were when she came here.
ねえ、お父さん、お母さんにここのお花あげようよ。
Wasn't that your plan all along?
今日のお土産。お花
I'm so sorry, little Michiru. Let's try this again, yeah?
今日のお土産お花だったらたくさんもらっても嬉しいでしょ
I see. Point taken. My feelings of appreciation and gratitude towards Michiru were so great that, no matter how many gifts I gave, I could never adequately express them to her. Little Michiru clearly felt grateful to Michiru too. Since she wanted so badly for her to be happy about the birthday present, she didn't even care about the surprise part. Although we might still be able to surprise Michiru later on, if she ends up thinking this is the only present we're going to get for her.
お母さん喜んでくれるよね
Yeah, I'm sure she'll like it. She might even cry.
泣いちゃうのは困るよ
I mean, she might cry from happiness. I certainly don't want her to be sad either.
感激か
When little Michiru imagined that, she showed me a big smile that reminded me of a flower blooming. Little Michiru's beautiful smile was even more dazzling than the field of flowers in front of me.
お父さん早く行こ
Alright, let's do this. I was excited to see how happy Michiru would be too. Although I did have to worry a little bit that she might try to push me down and take my clothes off right away when she received the gift. We need to think about how we're going to give her this gift, though.
うってあげたらダメなの
That'd be okay, but maybe we could try making some kind of bouquet of flowers. That'd be okay, but maybe we could try making some kind of bouquet or flower crown too. Freshly picked flowers would smell the best, but pressed flowers make good presents too.
わあお父さん物知りさんなんだね
I looked up different ways of preparing flowers since I wanted to make Michiru happy. I'd only hesitated because I'd already given Michiru most of the gifts I thought she would like in times gone by.
お母さん展示のご本読んでるからしおりがいいと思うな
Then we could make one from a pressed flower. Go look for the prettiest flower you can find, and we'll use that to make the bookmark. Whoa, how do you do that? That sounds cool. We can grab a few extra ones for decoration too. The appearance wouldn't actually matter to Michiru though. Nevertheless, Michiru would definitely appreciate knowing that little Michiru picked out a pretty flower for her.
どれがいいかな
Now this wholesomeness is what I like. We can keep going if it's like this, not the Jenny. Little Michiru started searching through the flowers for the best candidate. She wanted to do her best to make Michiru happy. Seeing her go to this much effort made me want to give little Michiru a gift too. I'd given her a stuffed animal before so she wouldn't feel lonely at home, but today I wanted to give her another gift to make her happy. I made 2 flower crowns, one each for Michiru and the little one. After the little one gave her present to Michiru, I would give my own present to both of them. I knew the little one would like this kind of present even if she wasn't expecting it. Just imagining the smile on her face gave me resolve to keep working away. Oh, but I wonder, what should I get little Michiru on her birthday? Honestly, I've been buying little Michiru a lot of presents. If I spoil her too much, then Michiru might get mad at me. Maybe I should ask Michiru for advice about what I should get for little one. No, it would probably be for the best to ask little Michiru herself. I wouldn't be trying to surprise the little one with her birthday present, and it would be more important to make sure that her birthday was one to remember. But right now, I need to finish these before we go home. I'd finished Michiru's flower crown by now, and I was still working on the little ones. Hers would be smaller, but... Huh? Where did little Michiru go? Oh! I looked around, but the little one wasn't there. She must have run off somewhere, just like any child with her energy would. Perhaps I might have lost track with Michiru the exact same way when we came here. Did anybody else at first, assuming you haven't read this story yet, or before I should say, the first time that little one disappeared, did you think she disappeared back to her timeline? Because I did think that. And now that she's gone again, it's making me think again, oh, maybe this time she actually disappeared? It feels like they're kind of playing with us there. Like, oh, she's gone, and then, oh, it just turns out she was lost. We're like,
お父さん
Oh,
こ
thank
れどう
God.
か
I
な
thought you suddenly disappeared. Oh, so you're right there, little Michiru.
お父さん
No, it's nothing. I was just wondering where you were. As I said that, I hid the half-completed crown of flowers behind my back. Then I noticed what little Michiru had in her hand. Is that bouquet of flowers something you made?
そうだよ。ちゃんとできてるかな
Of course, it's beautiful. You've got good eyes for flowers, little Michiru. What the heck? She laughs funny. I was already thinking about decorating Michiru's room with that bouquet once we'd given it to her. I also knew of a few ways to preserve flowers so they wouldn't wilt or dry out. Really? That is cool. Teach me your ways.
それでね、この綺麗な方を押し花にしたいの。
That's a good choice. Well, we'll just tuck it away in this book for now.
おっきな5本だね。
I'd brought a what? Kojian dictionary along, and I was glad I'd done that. I figured it would come in handy when we came to the flower field. After all, I'd given Michiru a similar gift, sometime in the past. The idea of giving a pressed flower as a gift even before we came here, so little Michiru coming up with the same idea was pure serendipity. You mean coincidence? Maybe? Maybe. Having prepared the bookmark and the bouquet, little Michiru and I walked through the field of flowers. She was having fun, and this place gave me a pleasant feeling of nostalgia as well. Unfortunately, we were having so much fun that I lost track of time for a little while. I didn't manage to finish the little one's crown of flowers, so I decided to finish it up once we got home.
お母さん、怒ってるかな
I don't think she'll get mad at you, but she might be a little peeved at me for staying out so long. I would be able to make it up to her with the gifts. Hopefully.
それじゃあ、しおりをきれいに作って喜んでもらわないとだね。
That's right. Just don't tell her about this until I finish it. I already had the pressed flowers, so I just needed to make it into a bookmark once we get home. I also figured I could use that time to finish the crowns as well. Maybe I could give both of them their crowns after dinner time.
ご飯食べたらお部屋で隠れて作ろうね。
I think it'd just make her angry if we shut ourselves in there again. I was already doubtful enough of my ability to keep it a secret from Michiru to start with.
お誕生日のプレゼントも考えないといけないね。
That's right. Oh, and you should think about what you want for your birthday too, little one.
私いいけどまだ先だよ。
Huh? It's really soon, isn't it?
ううん。
Little Michiru shook her head in response to my question, evidently quite confused. She wore the sort of expression that seemed to be wondering why on earth I would be thinking such a thing.
私のお誕生日冬だよ。
Eh? Huh? A click, like that of something shifting, fell on my ears. I got chills. A click, like that of something moving, fell on my ears. A click, like that of something settling, fell on my ears.
お父さん
No, it's nothing. In the midst of my confusion, that was the only thing I could say. It's nothing at all. Repeating that to myself a few times, I finally unfroze from where I stood. Michiru and little Michiru didn't have the same birthday. I feel like this is hugely significant, but I am very unsure why. Of course, we need to keep reading, right? The chills I felt though, wow. Kuro had told me that even if they were the same person, there was no guarantee that they would be entirely identical. Could they really have different birthdays? Their outward appearances, names, and knowledge were ostensibly identical, after all. No, when it came to their knowledge, I never had stopped to verify that it really was identical between them. Since little Michiru thought of our own house as her own, and also had the same memory of getting lost at the park, I'd been totally convinced by that. Was little Michiru lying to us? Was that really the case? That would make this
お
child...
父さん
How about we go home now, little Michiru? What? What is it? What's the epiphany? Hand in hand, we slowly walked toward home. At this moment, the question of who little Michiru really was didn't matter anymore. Even if she was different from Michiru in some ways, or even if she was a completely different person, that wouldn't change the memories we made in our time spent with her. The memories, the feelings she had, even if they were identical to Michiru's own. That wasn't why we were raising her. Besides, if the little one and Michiru really weren't the same person, then there was little room for doubt as to who she could actually be. I could feel the warmth of her tiny little hand in my own. Little Michiru was here with me right now. For now, that was enough. Very interesting. Well, that's quite the curveball. I was not expecting that. As we approached the house, little Michiru called out happily to her mother. I followed her gaze and saw Michiru standing in front of the house. It was such a picturesque scene. I fell in love with her all over again.
私たちのこと待っててくれたのかな
Maybe. We were out for a while. I hope she wasn't too worried. It'd be a real pain if she ended up sulking for the rest of the day. Maybe I should give her the bouquet ahead of time to cheer her up. Would that be too pathetic though?
お父さん、お母さんにお花渡してもいい
Yeah, of course. I was thinking the same thing myself. I gave little Michiru a push on the back to affirm her resolve, and she happily ran over to where Michiru was standing. So cute.
お母さん、ただいま
おかえりなさい。そろそろ帰ってくる頃だと思っていましたよ。
Following along after little Michiru's tiny footsteps, I was greeted by Michiru's dazzling smile.
あのね、お母さんにお土産持ってきたの。
This is so cute. Oh my god. I feel my eyes getting watery.
お母さんの好きなお花だよね。お父さんと一緒に摘んできたの。
Little Michiru bashfully tried to give Michiru her present. No, my eyes got watery. They actually got watery. I was not expecting that. Very beautiful. I like this. And I knew it would be a heartwarming sight when Michiru's face lit up in response. Little Michiru held out the bouquet in her hands. Seeing Michiru's face as she accepted the gift will no doubt make me smile as well.
これ、もらってくれると嬉しいの。
おかえりなさい、兄様。みちるは一緒ではなかったのですね。
But, alas.
一人で済ませたい用事があるにしても、みちると一緒などという嘘はつかないでくださいね。
Huh? Wait. I wasn't. Why didn't she accept the bouquet little Michiru held out to her?
お母さん。
Why couldn't she hear her voice?
ところで兄様、みちるはどちらへ？
Michiru, don't you understand? Why wouldn't she notice she was even there at all? She's already fading. She's standing right there.
お母さん。
The ebb and flow of her helpless and distraught voice echoed in the air. Can't you hear her calling out to you?
兄様、何をおっしゃっているのですか？
But her voice could not reach Michiru, nor could her outstretched hands touch her.
みちるの声なんて聞こえませんよ。
Flitter, flutter, flower petals scattered around. Tick-tock. Time ruthlessly ticked away. Each passing second seemed to fragment our memories more and more. Time was moving forward systematically, inexorably, without stopping towards the end, the final end. The fallen bouquet upon the ground never reached the one whom it was meant for. Dang. The two of us embraced, wept, regretted, apologized, all in reciprocity. The bouquet that little Michiru had made wavered sadly in the evening sunlight. Why didn't I realize it sooner? In retrospect, there had been enough warning signs to point towards where things now stood. Even if Michiru can't see, she will never completely lose awareness of little Michiru standing right next to her. It couldn't be true, but it was. Even I could easily forget that little Michiru was standing right there if my focus lapsed for just a moment. What? We just forget her? Not only that, but all the other maids on the estate bar, Dee had completely forgotten about little Michiru too. That is cruel. Wow. Even with all the sadness weighing on my heart, I was certainly moved by the sight of the sky before dawn. The world around us continued to move forward in time, almost as if it were openly declaring its contempt for how we felt. I stared vacantly at the sky above. Once I was certain I stopped my tears from falling, I turned to face the presence I sensed behind me.
うすうす感づいておるとは思うが
Uro broke the silence. Yeah, I think I know what you're about to tell me.
時計の修復が完了する
I called it from like a mile away, probably 10. That when she disappears, there's gonna be a punch in the gut. And then, little Michiru, the words stopped in my throat. She would soon return to her original timeline. It was something I understood long before anyone spoke it out loud. But even as the rational part of me understood, the emotional part of me was vehemently trying to reject it. What a terrible shame. Keep it together today. I shook my head to and fro. It's not like she's disappearing. She's just returning to her own time. I had to speak those words aloud to convince myself they were true.
さようここでの出来事は一時の夢のようにまた互いの現実を過ごしていくだろうな
Well, at least it'll be a good dream. A dream, huh? Yeah, that makes sense. All this time had almost felt like a dream. I could say without a hint of hesitation that all the time we'd spent together up until now was the absolute happiest time in all my life. It felt like such a heavenly dream, and that was precisely why I didn't want it to end. What if, maybe... No. Never mind. I shook my head in bitter resignation. After the watches mended, maybe, if Michiru and I broke the watch like we did the first time, little Michiru would come back? The fact that I had even thought of that question at all was beyond reproach. I couldn't just prevent little Michiru from going home to her own family.
いつもの独り言になら付き合うぞ
You're a real one. For once, Kuro openly spoke with a hint of kindness. For once? What do you mean? I feel like she's been kind before. Was she showing consideration for how I felt? Thanks, Kuro.
勘違いをしておるかもしれんが我が輩は時計の持ち主にメソメソと落ち込まれるのが面倒なだけだぞ
Alright, I take back what I said. Yeah, I agree. Michiru and the little one were grieving too. As the older brother, the man, and the father in this situation, it was my duty to keep my spirits up instead of wallowing in self-pity. I could leave the dad part out, by the way. I'd do my darnest to keep their spirits up too. Incidentally, how much time is left until the watch will be completely mended?
もって数日
So just barely enough time until Michiru's birthday then. I wanted us all to smile for her birthday. Not only that, I wanted to see little Michiru off with a smile. Such an important day of celebration was not a day I wanted to taint with sorrow.
別れはきっちりと後腐れなく済ませておけ
I can't do that. No matter how many goodbyes I say, parting ways will always have some sadness to it. So all I want to do right now is enjoy what precious little time we have left together, to the fullest. Even if all the fun times we'd had together would make me even more reluctant to part with her, the knowledge that we made the most of that time was enough of a consolation.
そうかまあお主の好きなようにするがいい
Yeah, that's the idea. I've always spent my time living life to the fullest, so that even if there were moments of sadness, I wouldn't have moments of regret. Only people able to move forward in life can never truly be happy, right? Wow. Soon the shroud of night fell. I checked again with all the people in the estate, but ultimately Michiru and I really were the only ones who still remembered the little one. Whether it was because we broke the pocket watch together or because we were directly related to her, we were the only ones who still had awareness of her presence. Michiru was disconsolate. After all, she was scared that she would eventually forget about her as well. The way things used to be, Michiru could still sense little Michiru's presence in spite of her blindness. That sense had now vanished. Perhaps her grief at losing that sense was no less severe than the grief she felt back when she lost her sight. Is this a new track, by the way? It's very depressing, but I like it. I think it's new. I
お
think.
母さん大丈夫？
Little Michiru, none of us are okay right now.
平気です。心配いりませんよ。
Her words of comfort were like a dagger in my heart. The two of them were constantly holding hands in order not to forget the other was still there. This is so cute. It wasn't so much that little Michiru wanted to do so. It was more that Michiru felt anxious if they didn't. This really was the first time I had ever seen my sister, normally such a confident, sarcastic young lady, in such a downcast state. I was sad too, but I couldn't let them notice that. In this situation, it was my job to be lighthearted and keep their spirits up. I respect that. Hey, you two, we're gonna have some fun, so there won't be much point to it if you don't cheer up.
そうですね。今日はみちるの行きたいところを全部回るのですから。
ありがとうお父さんお母さん。
Seeing that smile finally appear on her face soothed my aching heart a little.
でも人がたくさんだと私邪魔にならないかな。
Don't worry. Michiru and I will be with you.
ええ。こうして手をつないでいればぶつかりませんからね。
We flanked her from both sides, and even if people couldn't see little Michiru, they wouldn't bump into her either. I'm picturing someone going in between Rei and Michiru and just suddenly, but there's nothing there. That must be so trippy. But above all, it would help to quell Michiru's own anxieties. I have a feeling the end of this route is gonna make me cry. I really like Little Michiru. They've done a good job at making you feel, at least for me experiencing this, they've done a good job with me getting attached to the little one. And I've loved every moment with her. The moments where I get a little annoyed is with bigger Michiru, of course, but don't get me wrong. I'm glad she is a part of the story and that it is her route. And as weird as the situation is, like everything about the situation is weird, right? But it's been a really good route. Having played this last hour, I feel like this route has been awesome. So I'll leave it at that. It's very unfortunate that the time with little Michiru is ending, but as I like to say, all things come to an end. Or something like that. I hope you guys have been enjoying this as much as I have been enjoying this. All of a sudden, all that irritation, all that annoyance just gone like that. Just like that. I can't wait to see how it ends. As tragic as it's gonna be, most likely. That part about me wanting it to end and getting ready for it to end, I still feel that way part of it. I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot to me. If you did enjoy this video, please consider hitting that like and subscribing if you haven't already done so. Totally help out a lot. So I encourage you to consider. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Y'all stay safe, and until next time, I love little Michiru.